And now it's my real pleasure to introduce Liz. Her smile says it all. She is just brilliant. She's so enthusiastic and so inspiring. She came last year to talk about motherhood, and everybody said, can we have her back? So we are delighted to welcome you back, Liz. Wait. She has 5 children. I can't remember all their ages, from 25 to about 10, similar to me, similar-ish. So she's an expert, maybe? No. So she's going through the teens and the older, and she'll just talk to us about how to mother teens and how to get through that phase, or not to enjoy it, how to enjoy your teens, because actually they are wonderful, really. And what you see when you see their character form, it's actually wonderful, isn't it? From when they're born, as they get older, and then into adult life, it's a really wonderful process. So Liz, really wonderful to have you here, and the floor is yours.
Whew, okay. Thank you for having me. The joy of teenagers, the golden years. Yeah. My son helped me with this, and he's 17. He said I should make sure I mention it. So he's tagged himself at the end of the whole thing, but hey. So thank you, Levi. Welcome to everyone who's attending online and here in person. It's awesome to have you here, and thank you for having me. It's an honor, because I'm a mother like you, and like everything Anne said, I believe in the role of motherhood. I believe it's the most important role alongside fatherhood. And it's important that we uphold it, we encourage it, and we support each other. So I love Mothers at Home Matter. I'm here to speak on a subject that's close to my heart, teenagers. My name is Elizabeth, with a Z, but friends call me Liz. I was born in West Africa, Ghana, and one fun fact about me that my boys especially love to laugh at is Mom used to play the drums, and I actually enjoyed it. We've had 11 pregnancies, my husband and I, and 5 live births. It's been a journey. We got married at 18. We had preeclampsia also at 20, and we had our son Nehemiah, who was born premature, 3.5 months premature. And so it's been, with mother, it's been an adventure. When you see the title of, who are these people? When the title of this talk is called The Joy of Teenagers. Wait, you might say, what did she say? Joy and teenagers in the same sentence? No, she must have got it wrong. No, I haven't got it wrong. I have truly enjoyed these years. Years of community, teamwork, compassion, thoughtfulness, generosity, kindness, love, respect, faith, trust, and support. That's why I was so excited to talk about this, because you never hear about this when we speak about teenagers. So I said to my boys, I feel like I'm talking for teenagers, and one should. It's about time. But this is my crew. This is the 5 of them. 25-year-old son, 22, 17, 15 yesterday, and our 10-year-old little girl. My husband, my beloved, is on this side, wearing his white get-up there and looking quite dashing. I've been loving him for almost 3 decades, and I'm grateful for that. It helps that he's cute, but you know. We've not only enjoyed growing our family, but we've also enjoyed coming alongside them as they became adults. Firstly, I'd like to say that this is me offering the opportunity to have us all peek into my story and my experience in parenting. I think that's the power of community. When mothers bring all our voices together, when we bring our voices together, we can hear elements of ourselves in each other, but we're not all the same. But the power of community is to know that she understands what it means to love a child unconditionally. There's this ebbing flame within us as mothers for our children. We can't explain it. we will cross the road and save them without a thought on account of them. It's an unconditional love that it's pretty special. But when we meet another mother, we know she gets it. We don't have to explain it. And so I stand here alongside you, sharing and offering my story and my experience in parenting the teen years. I understand that my way may not be your way, and only expect you to take the meat from the bones of anything you will hear here today that could maybe assist you in your journey. Next, I want to add that there's no perfect children. As cute as my brood are, there is definitely no perfect children. We only just have to look straight at home at ourselves to know that no one is perfect. I'm not offering perfect children because there are none. What I am offering is another experience of the teen years. It doesn't have to be what we've been told. It doesn't have to be what we've seen. It doesn't have to be what I showcased in my teens. And now I understand why I did, what I did, and the choices I made. I want to offer another voice, another perspective, another narrative about teenagers that maybe you have not heard before. So even when I was coming, I was like, oh my goodness. I've kept a lot of these things to myself. I don't often share it with people because it may sound so strange, but it's the truth. The next slide, please, Jeff. Now, when I think of teenagers, this is Liz, this is me, this is how I feel. I'm excited, I love it. I'm like, they energize me, right? They give me joy. And I said to the kids, this is a good representation of Mum and how she feels about these teen years. And they said, Mum, use it, yeah. So today I'm gonna share like a snippet because of time. You can imagine, I've been parenting for 25 years. There's no way I can put all of that in 20 minutes. So this is just a snippet of the process. You're gonna see me hopping, touching particular things and subjects that really would take hours to unpack. But I'm just hoping you can take and extract what you will need. So I'll share a snippet of the process we've been using throughout the years with our children. And the process has been broken up into 3 parts: playing the long game, mentoring and coaching years, believing, encouraging, and enjoying. But before we dig into the first part, I want you to see a backdrop, almost like you've gone to the theater and the curtain is up before the show begins. And everything you're about to hear, this is the most important thing. The aim of everything we have done was to fulfill this. A child must know you will do anything for them. A child must know nothing is more important than them. A child must know if you have to die for them, you will pick yourself going before them. A child must know you have their back no matter what. A child must know you believe in them and that you see them. A child must know everything you do is because of them. They must know you've been there before in their shoes, you're not perfect, and you understand. A child must know they are worth more than the most precious things in this world, because they are. These things cannot be guesswork for the child. It must be spoken, it must be shown, and it must be demonstrated. Everything that we've just heard in this interim speaks directly to their value, their relevance, and their worth. All this came to me in my 20s. Went home with a little premature baby who had his oxygen to him to help him breathe and keep him alive and help him thrive. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, look how he's wriggling. One day he's going to be a man. He's going to be a teenager, and you're going to be older. I'm 45. And I was thinking of these days, I was 20. And I said to myself, if I don't put in a plan of action, he's going to become strong, energy, while I lose my vitality. So Liz, buck up your ideas. Choose your hard now. So I chose my hard. I rolled up my sleeves and I said, let's get to work. We need a plan like an architect. Because I had determined that when I would be losing energy and their youth would be thriving, I wanted peace. I wanted joy. I wanted to chill. I had a vision of me being like at the beach with the waters crashing and people bringing me some kind of lovely drink. That was the teen years for me. This is what I began to see when I was 20. That's how I want the teen years to be for me. When I looked at myself, my siblings, and the things that we gave our parents, I said, Liz, if these same things happen to you, how are you going to cope? I said I wasn't going to cope. So the plan had to swiftly be put into effect. Playing the long game. Next slide, please. And here we go. The long game. The teen years starts from when you have the baby. Yeah. Society will say it's when they become teenagers or when they turn 12, 13, 14. Oh yeah, you know the teenagers. We were actually staying overnight. I had my teenagers with me because one of our sons celebrated his birthday yesterday. So we were not too far from here. And the clerk at the table said, oh, you've brought your teenagers in. Oh, trouble, trouble. And my boys looked at me like, what? You know, they don't actually understand that kind of idea because we didn't raise them with that. They hear it and they see it in movies. They hear it in audiobooks. We listen to podcasts. Everyone seems to be against them. Everyone seems to have a particular expectation of teenagers. Well, it starts with the long game, a slow game, an intentional game. Have a vision. Start with the end in mind. What would you like the teen years to look like? Yes, you have that authority. Yes, you have that permission. You can ask yourself, you can choose what those years can look like. Then work towards that vision. We don't just let the teenage years happen to us or to our children. Parents have more influence in the culture of our family than we are being told. The teen years for us, practically speaking, start for us way before 13 in our household. We start between the ages of 8 and 10, depending on our children. And we start having conversations with them. We call it truth. We start letting them know that an event is about to happen. Their development and their growth is going to change. Their body's going to change. We use science books, we have discussions, and we begin to just prepare them for this event. And I remember with my older boys, when we started talking to them about them becoming teenagers, and I would tell them that because of the hormones, sometimes you might just get really upset, sometimes quite hot. You might even want to stamp up the stairs. You might want to slam a door because you don't feel understood. And you know, in their little tiny voices that are not yet broken, they'll say to me, why would I want to do that? I found it so interesting they would ask me that. But why would I do that, Mummy? I said, because that's what's apparently expected of you. Well, I don't want to stamp up the stairs. What has happened that I'm stamping up the stairs and all of this? Which gives me a teaching moment and a way in to begin to explore the different things that's happening within the mind, the soul, and the spirit because of these hormones. We give hormones a purpose because that's what they do have, a purpose. They come in to change the body, to change the mind, to change the heart, to help build this small child who's either a boy or girl into a man. So our shapers women come through, hair and BO. Those are the fun things that I've had some of my boys wash 2 and 3 times, like, no, because they're into sports and that. Anyway, so we explain those years so they have a picture even before it happens, and we let them know, but as for Dad and I, we believe in you, and we believe you can do more than that. We believe you can choose the right way to do things. And more than that, you have him and I, you have me. I've been a teenager before. That's the advantage you have. I've been a teenager. I know what it is you're about to feel. And we're going to be right there with you. Everything you feel, you get to discuss that with us. Anywhere you want to be, you get to be that with us. We're here. And that's a constant reassurance we give them from the age of 8 upwards. And we use education. Education, education, education. A child is never too young to learn anything. Don't ever think, because they listen to all the adult conversations, they're listening to the news, they're hearing us, they're seeing us, they're sponges, they're picking everything up. So don't ever say, well, maybe they're not, ready to hear this. And no, they're more ready than you know. You'll probably find that you'll learn more from children than adults. You'll learn more about yourself from your own children than from anywhere else. We assure them that we've been through it and we'll be there right alongside them. Now, you could say, if I want to just drop one little thing in there, that it started when they were little and we told them to make their bed. That's how I started my parenting. I said to myself, if I could get them to make their bed and get them to do it by themselves and do it efficiently, then the beginning of self-discipline has begun. So when they were very young, that was my first seed of discipline, make your bed. When I grew up, I found a book called Make Your Bed by William H. McRaven, which then enlightened me as to why I was doing all that I was doing. I didn't have the full picture in my 20s, but his book is excellent. Our older young adults in our house loved that book, and they said, Mom, you have to recommend that book. Be prepared for the teen years before it comes. Environment is everything to the growing child. The environment they're grown in, the adults around them, the ambience you set, the aesthetics in the home, or the tone of your voice, the tone of the home, all these things, like a plant that requires water, light, warmth, all of these things have implications to how a child develops and how they grow. So that's why, for me, there were particular things that I needed just to leave you, because I find it quite important. Teach them to protect themselves, especially from predators, because predators don't know age. And in this case, because of the books I brought, I would say sexual predators. So I thought I've got a plethora of books, but I couldn't bring everything. I'm not quite that strong. Not yet. This one's called The Right Touch by Sandy Cleven. This one too is called Yell and Tell. So I brought these as examples because I start going through these books around 8, 9, 10, so that they can protect themselves. Again, that could be a whole talk, but I'll leave that with you. Then also ready our girls for their monthly visitation of Aunt Flo, because one day Aunt Flo will come to visit, right? You have had to, I'm that mum, right? You've met that mum. I will go to the ends of the earth to find whatever I need to give to my babies. So this is called the Ruby Love Box. It came all the way from America because I was trying to look for one in England. And once this came, this is your first period kit. And once this came, this is your first period kit. So I'm currently going through a whole course with my little 10-year-old. And when I finish, she doesn't know about this, we're in the middle. When I finish, I'm taking her to afternoon tea, and I'm presenting her with this box, because she's 10 now, so it's about to happen. It's going to happen within the next 3 years. And inside there will be her, all the things she would require, so that it's a fun event, because this thing will live with her for most of her life, right? In England, a friend of mine told me about auntflo.org. And I understand that they also offer boxes if you require them. Okay. Okay. Prepare them to be prepared. In your mind, you might have your own set of things you want your children to leave your home with when they're ready to go. I'll just give you some examples of mine. And these were the things I occupied my days with. Basic cooking skills. Let them take away with them simple, healthy, economical meals. All my sons know how to cook and bake. So, and that was important because I've been a young wife and a young mother before, and the best thing my husband can do is cook up a mean breakfast. So like all the different hospital visitations I've had, if he could have cooked, it would have helped so much. So we've had mother-in-laws and mothers, aunties cooking and helping, but I'm like, I'm thinking of my boys as husbands, and if they know how to cook and going to university, it's just perfect. Financial literacy is another one. Budgeting, credit, mortgages, the financial industry, I wanted them to be well-versed in that. Good manners and social skills. Their please and their thank you and their etiquette was something I wanted them to take away with them. A good work ethic, taking on responsibilities. Now, that's a big one because many people say that teenagers don't like to do chores, or if they do chores, they do it with some kind of attitude. Okay, okay, so I want to say yes. Okay, in our home, all the teenagers have worked and they have been pleasant in doing so. So Liz, how did you get them to work and have a great attitude? Well, family meetings are the crutch of our house. They are the pillar. So we've had family meetings in the early years, and we established that the house needs to run. If the house was to just be, if you just let go of the house, everything will just go into chaos. Everyone is appointed their task, from dad to mum, and everyone's clear about it, to all the children. And everyone plays their part because we are a micro community. So, but we're explaining this to the children. So it's not a case of you're just carrying the heavy load. We're all carrying a heavy load. And by it, we can all survive, we can all thrive, and we can all live in the kind of environment we like. Is that understanding and asking them what they think and what do they want to add to it, and yeah, we've had meetings where they feel some have more chores than others, or the chores seem more simpler than theirs, so we think we should swap, and all of this going on. But I think when you include them in the discussion, you gain more of them. So this is what we did. And if it's good for one, it's good for everyone. So if they're allowed to have a strop, we will also have a strop. If they don't think that's right, then it's also not right for them. Does that make sense? Yeah, it goes both ways. So you must want to be with your children for them to want to be with you. You must want to be with your children, because someone asked, Liz, how do I get my children to want to be with me in the teens and also in the early adulthood stage? I said, well, if when they were with you, when they were younger, you actually wanted to be with them, then they will sense that. And they will also sense that for you, it's not a burden. They know it. They're intuitive, so they pick this thing up. And then they realize that actually they were a burden. You'd rather be doing something else. And they're like, okay, I'm old now. So you can go and do something else because I'm also doing something else. So in our home, we have like open communication. All doors are open in our house. So they've grown in a different culture and we created that culture. And I'm telling you this because I've lived it now and I've seen it, because I was the opposite. I wanted to be in my room. The best way to know how to gain what you want is to look at how you were and why you were. The reason why I went to my friend's house, because home wasn't that fun. There's a reason I was the teenager I was, and that's what guided me in knowing what they needed. So if you ask me about parenting, what's your parenting style? I'll say fun, firm, fair. Those are the three pillars that hold up my parenting. How did you come to that conclusion? Easy. I didn't come from a very fun environment, right? And I sometimes didn't feel things were fair. And then the firmness was too firm, and no one was talking to me. So then I decided to do the opposite, because I had intel. I became a spy. You understand? I knew, I had information on the subject. Okay, so but you must also give them the vision too. And this is serious. You must be intentional in sitting them down and telling them the vision and bringing it up often on car rides, while you're doing your errands. You have to bring it up. What does the vision of the this new way of raising teens look like? They need the vision. They need a picture for themselves. Let them know what to expect, and let them know that you'll be right by their side, because they're going to hear it and see it from everywhere else. Next slide, please. Out of the trenches of parenting, littles and middles, we jump into mentoring and coaching. So from the long game, we go to mentoring and coaching. Those years start from 12 years and to forever if needed. Because there's some of us that are 40 and still need some kind of conversation with our parents. Because there are some conversations that has laid buried for centuries. You know what I mean? Well, not everyone, but some of you may. We all need to talk to our parents. No matter what job everyone seems to, or career everyone seems to have in whatever town or city, a lot of us need to talk. And the people we need to talk to are our parents. As soon as we sit in front of a counselor or a therapist, somehow the conversation gets back to our childhood. It will always get back to our relationship with our father or our relationship with our mother. That's the power position that each and every one of us are in. The family, the mother, and the home is the establishment for everyone's life. Everyone gets to live on top of what we do with them at home. And the time we have with most humans is very little compared to the life they will live after the time they share with us. So it is imperative we understand that, oh, hold on, the work we don't do now will turn up later for us to do. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so these are the years for establishing, from 12 onwards, these are the years for establishing good communication and giving them vital information. A time for character building and development, great novels, put great novels in front of them that uphold morals, virtues, good character. That's why we're homeschoolers, and I love the Charlotte Mason method, because she has a plethora of books, book lists that support all of these types of values. Create a culture of open communication within the family. Family meetings and togetherness is important. Most importantly, using your life experiences in your coaching and mentoring years, your mistakes of your life, your learned lessons, and your past to mentor throughout these years is imperative. That's what you're armed with. That's when you make, there's this, it's like spark that happens between you and your child, between you and the teen. When the teen is closed up and has a hard heart, the way to get in is your vulnerability. You have to be vulnerable. You have to go there. You don't ask them to open up, they're going to close and clench even more. You have to talk about stuff you probably as a mother would have never told your child. That's the key. Because they now know you're open. So they reflect that and they become open. You just try, you'll see what I'm saying. There is no teen that's not, you can reach anyone. And because you're their mother, you have a power that none other has. They want to hear from you. And so we mentor using our own life experiences, mistakes, lessons learned, etc. Okay, I'm trying to just get through it, Liz. Okay, social media is important. Because I grew up in an age where I didn't have social media. And the children now, that's all they know. And so social media and its connection with children's mental health is well documented. Pornography is another thing I wanted to mention, because it's in whether we know it or not. And as adults, we have to speak upon these subjects, and we have to empower our teens to navigate this manipulative and addictive form of technology. And so I would recommend The Tech-Wise Family by Andy Crouch, Glow Kids by Nicholas Kardaras, and for all the pornography and that kind of stuff, I would also recommend this company, Defend Young Minds, Protect Young Eyes, for more information on that. In our home, we use Canopy. Canopy filters out and monitors all the junk from ever entering into our home. So every single device you put Canopy on, we as the parents, we can see everything you've been on. It blocks everything out, but my husband said to mention that it first starts with controlling the Wi-Fi. You can control the Wi-Fi through your router settings first, he said. I'm not the tech person in our house, as you can see. Believing, the next slide please. Believing, encouraging, and enjoying. Believe in your children. Believe in the process. Trust it. Encourage your children and be encouraged. That's what I've had to do. Enjoy your children. Enjoy the journey. 1/3 of their life is spent with us, but it sets the foundation for the rest of their lives that they live on. Encourage them to be lifelong self-educators. All the greatest men that have ever lived, and women, have always been lifelong self-educators. The bonds we share in our families make us feel a sense of belonging. Forming and forging these bonds is where the work lies. Have fun, have fun, have fun. Have fun. The world is depressing enough outside of my four walls. I can choose to have fun. Do you know what I mean? I've been in hospital. I've seen death. I know that life can be very bad. But every single time I'm in hospital, I have no control over anything except for my joy. I can still show my teeth, even with drips hanging in me in ICU. I can choose that. And whatever situation I'm going through can't take that away from me. Have fun, have fun, have fun. Enjoy your children. The family is that first micro community that the children learn community from to go out there to replicate. Family works best in togetherness. Work together, play together, laugh together, experience together, and love together. Next slide, please. And here are some books that the boys actually recommended. Do Hard Things, A Survival Guide for Life, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teenagers, Boy Mum, Carry On Mr. Bowditch, which is a novel, kind of autobiography. And I asked my son, who's 17, why did you add this one? And because they've read so many books, why that one? He said, because every teenager needs to master self-education, and Mr. Bowditch is a great example of this. In conclusion, joy can be found in the teenage years. It needs intentionality. It needs a vision. It needs a commitment to that vision and that plan. It takes good work, but it's worth it because our children are worth it. Cherish, next slide please. Cherish the precious years. They fly by way too quickly. Protect those years, enjoy those years, and thank you for listening. I had to just go.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Liz. That was just amazing. Thank you very much.